Hi, it's Taylor Pangman, and welcome to The Tribe Life, your weekly resource to help you become the best version of you. For this week's episode, I interview Amy Jarosky. Amy's a certified health coach and founder of Healthy Vices, specializing in corporate wellness. She helps busy professionals add practical diet and healthy lifestyle techniques into their daily routine. Amy has presented to many corporations and also coaches one-on-one and hosts wellness events here in New York City. Well, hi Amy. Thank you so much for meeting with me and being on camera and talking about healthy living, especially here in New York City. It's crazy, any city life. So I'm very excited to sit down with you and get into learning about your company, Healthy Vices, and some of the things and helpful tips that you have for people that live a crazy busy life or just, working hard, corporate professionals, and how you help create a little bit more zen and balance in their lives. So really excited for this interview.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I'm curious. So Healthy Vices, founder of Healthy Vices. I'm curious, was wellness always kind of in your background? Was it always the path you knew, or how did you kind of come into that world?
Well, I worked at a large hedge fund in the city for over 10 years and just started feeling unwell over time, just not totally myself mentally and physically, and decided to start eating lots of organic fruits and vegetables and got more into yoga, and eventually my energy increased and I just started taking better care of myself and feeling more like me.
Yeah, so kind of starting with little tips, little changes, and
Right.
seeing more growth.
Right.
Awesome. And then you went on to be certified as a health coach to help other people do this.
Exactly.
Specifically in the corporate world, right? Awesome. So where did you come up with Healthy Vices? What does that mean to you?
So it's sort of an oxymoron, people think, but really it's about just finding healthier versions of people's favorite foods so that they don't feel deprived when they're on a health journey. So the word vices kind of implies that you can still enjoy your life and still enjoy the foods you've always loved, but just with a healthier twist.
I love that. So you're not like depriving them of anything.
Right.
It's kind of like the debate of diets right now. Do they really work or not? Because a lot of people just view it as like, if I say no to this, I'm going to want more of it.
Right.
Or like the diet only lasts for a month, and then I kind of boomerang back into my old bad habits.
Right. So it's about adding in foods. I always talk about what they should be eating as opposed to what they can eat and what they shouldn't be eating.
Yeah.
And that shifts people's mentality.
I love that. It's more positive too.
Exactly.
Yeah, you feel like less punished. I guess like I'm less of a bad person because I'm just focusing
Exactly,
on
yeah.
Awesome. Well, you had some tips that you said you could help share because,
Sure.
I'm busy in the city trying to start my own thing here too, and I'm running around constantly, and I know meal prepping is one thing that you've mentioned to me as something that's very important. I'm terrible at it. I really don't know where to start either. I know my big excuse is that I don't have any time. Like I don't have enough time for that, I don't have enough time, and I'll make healthy choices with salad choices or things like that, but so that's one thing that I'm curious about. And then what are maybe like 2 more tips that you would recommend for other busy professionals that they can easily implement into their lives?
I recommend meal prepping for most of my clients, and I usually recommend doing it on Sunday night because that's when the week has sort of quieted down.
Yeah.
Most people aren't working as hard on Sundays, and the kids have calmed down, maybe they're sleeping, and it's a good time to just get into the kitchen for literally 30 minutes or less and prepare some really nutritious meals for you and your family. There's a couple things I recommend. I love eggs. I'm a huge fan of eggs. They have a ton of protein, and yes, you can eat the yolks. I recommend the yolks. Everyone's always questioning the yolks. So I recommend hard boiling probably 10 to 12 eggs.
Oh wow, okay.
Every Sunday night, and you can use them for any meal, but a lot of people like to use them for breakfast, and I definitely recommend that because of the protein. So you want to always make sure you're having protein in the morning. That's really, really important. It will help satiate you, fill you up until lunch, and give you a lot of energy for the day. So hard boiling eggs, you just keep them in the fridge, leave the shells on, and then you have them for the week. So you can have 2 or 3 eggs.
Wow, that's
in the
so
morning.
simple.
Yeah.
I'm like totally wowed already with that. Like, yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Making like hard-boiled eggs in bulk.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's great. It works really well. Also, I recommend making a large vat of quinoa. Are you a fan of
I am.
Okay,
Yeah, I love quinoa.
So again, quinoa has a ton of protein also.
Okay.
It's got all 9 essential amino acids, so it's a great protein substitute. And you can pretty much throw anything in with it because it doesn't have a ton of flavor on its own.
No.
I'm sure you've noticed that.
Yeah, I cook it with vegetable
Exactly.
stock.
Yeah.
That's chicken stock.
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that helps.
Some flavor.
Exactly.
What else do you make it with?
So I just will roast also like any vegetables I have in the refrigerator.
Okay.
And I also recommend buying cut up vegetables. I know this feels like you're cheating when you're cooking, but you're really not. You're just saving time and making things easier for yourself and your family. So buy things cut up and then just roast them and throw them in with the quinoa. And if you make a lot of it, you can just keep it in the refrigerator and again have it for any meal. It's really versatile.
Yeah. Like maybe on its own with a meat or a fish dish.
Yeah.
Or in a salad too.
Absolutely.
I love it in a salad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really versatile. So you can pretty much have it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Yeah.
Take it to work if you want, or have it, before you leave for the office every day.
I love that.
It's
Yeah,
really
so
good.
I mean those two simple things can be made into
Multiple meals.
multiple meals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned protein, actually, that makes me curious. Is that different than, I hear a lot of conflicting things of like, this is what you should have in the morning, more fiber or more,
Right.
less sugar, definitely. But how is it different than with fiber and protein? That might seem like a silly question. Maybe other people out there have the same question, but how is that?
They're both great in the morning.
Okay.
For me personally, I notice when I have protein in the morning, my energy goes way up.
Okay.
And it's great to keep your meals balanced. So having healthy fat is also a great thing to do in the morning. So I would have, with a lot of my clients, I recommend having the hard-boiled eggs and throwing an avocado in with it. So it's kind of like huevos rancheros, throw some cayenne on it, some Himalayan pink salt and pepper.
That. Ooh.
Spice it up. Like, spices are something I'm a huge fan of also.
Yeah.
I would always recommend having as much of a balanced meal as you can. So have fiber, have healthy fat, have protein.
Okay.
It's just the protein is really key first thing in the morning, just to give you that extra boost of energy.
Yeah, because a lot of people will do, I have tea in the morning because coffee's too much for me. But you have coffee or tea as your caffeine booster,
Right.
but maybe not realizing, and tell me if I'm wrong, but are you depleting your energy more, or you can boost it with the protein?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it remains more stable.
Got it.
Caffeine.
So less of a crash
Yes.
later. Okay.
Exactly.
Awesome. Cool. Well, okay, mind blown already. I know what I'm gonna do
Your
tomorrow.
mornings are changed forever.
Well, even making 10 eggs, that's amazing to me. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Every Sunday, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you
it's
for
great,
that.
and it's quick.
Yeah.
It's not like you need to make gourmet meals.
Yeah. So you talked about meal prepping and the different things there. Are there any other tips, like maybe 2, maybe 1 more tip? Because I love the stuff that you're saying right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you think is beneficial.
Yeah, I always recommend snacking is a huge thing especially with corporate people.
Yes.
3, 4 o'clock rolls around and everybody wants to put their head on their desk. And then there's always chocolate chip cookies and
Someone's
treats.
birthday.
Yes.
Always
That's
what
birthday.
threw me off. Like, I never eat ice cream cake, but let's do it right now. Why not?
Exactly, because it's there, right? And you're hungry and crashing, and why not? So I always recommend bringing your own snacks to the office and keeping them at your desk. So something like nuts is a great option because they have healthy fat. They'll keep your energy nice and stable. You can have some fruit also, some yogurt, things like that aren't gonna bring your sugar up and then down.
Yeah.
And
having things on hand. Or
Right,
something. Yeah,
right.
That makes sense.
also, a lot of people ask me about bars that I love, and I love Lara bars and Go Macro bars. They're not super refined. They're in their original, a lot of the ingredients are in the original form.
Okay.
So those are great options also for a bar.
Yeah.
And if you have snacks right at your desk, you're less likely to go grazing around the office looking for that chocolate chip cookie
That will
sort
be
of
somewhere.
calling your name.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah.
So when you work with clients then and you're talking through kind of some other healthy tips and I'm thinking too like lunchtime comes around or even like dinner if you're working really late. I used to work in event marketing where we just sometimes there was literally no time to leave the office.
Right.
And so that's when it was always kind of to save money too, we'd all pitch in and getting a big pizza or something. Which
Right.
Pizza's great. You can have it in moderation. I know everything in moderation, but what are some tips that you give with people with lunch or even with dinner with work? Is there something to keep in mind when you're looking at let the space around you, the restaurants around you, especially here in New York?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're fortunate in New York that there are so many great restaurant options. So when I'm working with a client, I'll usually look at where their office is located and come up with, 2 or 3 healthy food options that they can kind of rotate so they don't get bored. And usually it'll be a salad place where you can pick your toppings and add in super healthy, nutritious foods. And also even something as crazy as Chipotle, I recommend.
The burrito bowl.
Yes.
That's mine.
As is mine. It's the best thing ever. But they really care about their ingredients. They use only grass-fed organic meats, and it's not as unhealthy as people think it is, because they really do care about what they're putting into their bowls.
Okay. So you've approved us for Chipotle.
Yes.
We can go, check.
Yes, just, use the sour cream and cheese in moderation, not every time you go, or just a little bit, and then, it's a great option for a delicious lunch.
Yeah. And so you mentioned the meat, which this is more of a personal question, because I have a debate going on with some friends and family of mine. So with meat, I've heard it's good for you, it's bad for you, some people's bodies crave it more than others.
Right.
Is there, what is your take on that? Is meat good? Is meat bad? Moderation? How much? What's your take on that?
Well, I personally do eat meat. I know that's shocking to some people. A lot of people think I'm a vegan because I'm into health.
And you're tiny. And some people think, oh, she must just eat salads all day.
Not the case.
Okay.
I love meat. I crave meat. So, like you said, it's definitely about listening to your body. And if you're craving something, there's obviously a reason.
Yeah.
But when it comes to meat, I usually only recommend grass-fed, organic, just lean, high-quality meats, which you can find, in a lot of restaurants in the city. And just make sure you're not eating a ton of red meat every day. And I think meat is important because it does have B12 and it has a lot of the B vitamins, which are really important for energy.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of vegans need to monitor their B vitamins on a regular basis, and a lot of times they need to supplement, to replace that missing vitamin from their diet. So that's one reason I do like meat, because you get the vitamins from actual food. And
instead of the supplements.
Right, exactly.
And then how much? Is there a rule?
There's not a specific rule. Portion size, I usually recommend not having it larger than the size of your palm. If you're going to have a piece of meat.
I don't think I do more than that.
Yeah, most people think they need to have so much protein, through animals every single day, and you really don't need to have plate-sized portions of a steak or something like that.
It's also a very American thing.
Yes, exactly. You want the majority of your plate to actually be greens. At least 2/3 of the plate should be greens.
In the health world and the things that you're seeing, what are some misconceptions that you think busy professionals and people in general have that maybe keep them from living their best healthy life?
I would probably say the biggest one is the whole wheat concept.
Interesting. Okay, tell me about this.
It's understood among most people that whole wheat is actually whole wheat and it's healthy and in its original form, but in our country, unfortunately, it's not the case. What happened was back in the 1950s in Mexico, they were trying to solve the world hunger problem, so they had all these good intentions, but what they did was they started hybridizing wheat. So it turned out to not be in its original form, and it's basically was man-made, and America started getting their wheat from Mexico.
So, do they still now?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's where it originated from. So over the last 60 years or so, we've been eating this hybridized, not in its original form type of wheat. And
how does that affect our bodies differently than in its natural state?
So it changed the chemical structure of the gluten. And so gluten is pretty hard for Americans to digest in this country, and that's why I think there's a rise in celiac disease, and a lot of people have gluten sensitivity, and a lot of people have bloating and digestive and stomach issues, and I think a big reason is because we have trouble digesting the wheat that's in so much of our food every day. So if you go to Europe, it's easier to eat gluten because it's more in its original form than it is in America.
So then you think the misconception with Americans and busy professionals is that eating more whole wheat is like the healthy alternative to something. Maybe thinking, this might even go back to the misconception that all white meat or all white bread is bad, and so that's what you're saying, the transition to being more healthy of its whole wheat, so must therefore be better for me.
Right, whereas a slice of whole wheat will spike your blood sugar as much as a can of Coke. A lot of people...
Wow, a can of Coke.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. And keeping your blood sugar stable is really important just for keeping your energy level stable and your weight stable. So there are other options. Something like Ezekiel bread is a great option.
I've actually never heard of that.
It's really delicious. They use sprouted grains, which won't spike your blood sugar nearly as much. And they also have a ton of gluten-free breads also. And you can get it at pretty much any health food store. So that's a great bread option.
What else? Give me one more misconception. I'm like, mind blowing. I'm really intrigued.
Probably, this is a hot topic right now, is just the issue of fat. And how people think that you're not supposed to eat fat because everything is low fat, low fat yogurt, low fat cheese. But in reality, healthy fat is really important for our bodies. It's really important for our brains to think clearly. And so I always recommend eating fat at every meal. And the other benefit is that it will fill you up and satiate you. Something like avocados and olives and olive oil.
Yes, all my favorite things.
Yeah, they're super filling. I'm not a big calories person, so I wouldn't pay so much attention to that. If you're eating healthy fat, it will fill you up and you won't have enough room to eat the less healthy foods that are around you, like those chocolate chip cookies at the office.
Yes.
So
those are good. But I will say the days that I have maybe an avocado for maybe like an afternoon snack, it does tide me over to the point where I'm not even thinking about my next snack. And that sometimes is the case if I'm not eating so healthy. I'm craving more things more often.
Right.
And so the avocado definitely fills me up.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you noticed that.
You pay more attention to it when you do a lot of yoga.
Yeah. It's a great snack. A half an avocado is pretty ideal.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. My mind is blown from the conversation we've had here.
Awesome.
Honestly, like the tips, you let me know that I'm on the right track a little bit, but also some new tips that I think I can incorporate and maybe some of my viewers as well. So thank you so much, Amy.
Thanks for having me. This is so fun.
Thank you. And if you want any more information on Amy, you can go to my website at taylorpenguin.com. I'll put all of your information on there so they can reach out and learn more about you and healthy vices. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss an episode. Otherwise, I will see you next week, and thank you for tuning in to The Tribe Life.